Welcome again students to Political Science lessons on 𝕐𝕕𝕦𝕪. In our last class under International Organizations, we discussed about the Organization of African Unity, the Casablanca Group, the Monrovia Group, the Brazzaville Group, the aims and objectives, and the principles of the Organization of African Unity. So today, I will teach you about the institutional structure, which is also called the organs of the 𝕐𝕕𝕦. The 𝕐𝕕𝕦 was comprised of 5 institutional organs. These include the Assembly of Heads of State and Government, the Council of Ministers, the General Secretariat, the Commission of Mediation, Conciliation and Arbitration, and the Deliberation Committee. Now, to have a better understanding, I will teach you about the structure and functions of these individual organs that make up the 𝕐𝕕𝕦. First is the Assembly of Heads of State and Government. The Assembly of Heads of State and Government was the highest organ of the 𝕐𝕕𝕦. It was comprised of the executive presidents, or prime ministers of the countries making up the 𝕐𝕕𝕦. This body met only once in a year in a meeting which was convened in the country of the chairman of the body. The chairman of the assembly is a member of the body and was only elected for a 1-year tenure. The position as chairman of the assembly was rotatory. The Assembly of Heads of State and Government decided on issues either through a 2/3 majority vote. The main functions of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the 𝕐𝕕𝕦 include 1. The Assembly of Heads of State and Government considers and approves any amendment to the 𝕐𝕕𝕦's charter. What is a charter? A charter for international organizations is a foundational document that establishes the organization's purpose, structure, powers, and principles. This means that a charter serves as a constitution and framework for cooperation among member states in an international organization. Second, the Assembly of Heads of State and Government discusses matters that are of common concern to member states in the 𝕐𝕕𝕦, such as international conflict resolution, economic development, and protection of fundamental human rights. Third, the Assembly of Heads of State and Government appoints key officers of the organization. Among these key officials include the chairman or chairperson of the assembly, who was the ceremonial head of the 𝕐𝕕𝕦 and was elected for a 1-year term. The commissioners and also the secretary general. Who is a secretary general in an international organization? A secretary general, who is also called the chief administrative officer, is an official of an international organization who is responsible for leading the general secretariat, implementing decisions made by the Assembly of Heads of State and Government, and representing the organization globally, while serving as the chief spokesperson and strategic advisor to the Assembly of Heads of State and Government. Key points about the 𝕐𝕕𝕦's Assembly of Heads of State and Government which you need to know include: the Assembly is the highest decision-making organ of the 𝕐𝕕𝕦. The Assembly decides on issues through a 2/3 majority vote. The Assembly discusses on issues that are of international importance to member states in the 𝕐𝕕𝕦, and the Assembly appoints key officials in the 𝕐𝕕𝕦 such as the chairman of the Assembly and the Secretary General. In the next lesson, I will teach you about the other organs of the Organization of African Unity. Specifically, the Council of Ministers, the General Secretariat, the Commission, and the Deliberation Committee.